everybody. I'm popping up everybody. Do you see these heavy hitters up here? Do y'all see them? Do y'all see them? Okay. Man, we got from the UK, the World's Team Podcast, the UK Cowboys, my man Paul Stewart. What's up, Paul?
Pretty good, man. Obviously, it's 2 a.m. right now here in the UK. Sleep deprived is such a thing, but being a Cowboys fan, losing more hairlines.
All right. And my man, Kyle, Tony the Goat Romo. Y'all know him from TikTok. You know him for his YouTube page. It's our man, Kyle. What's up, Kyle? How you doing?
What's up, everyone? It's good to see each and every one of you. It's our year, baby. It's our year. Let's go sign Dion, baby. Bring Dion to Dallas.
It's our
on
year.
this team. Let's go, baby. If we're going down, this is the way we're going to go down.
I feel you. Hey, man.
Oh, you just
our
gonna dive
man-
right into it, huh, Kyle?
And our man north of the border, man, from the the Cowboy can fan is my man Anthony. Anthony, what's up, baby?
What's going on, fellas? Just happy to be here so I don't get fined. Let's go.
and y'all know him. You love to hate him, but I love to love him even more. It's our man Mike. Cowboy Corner. What's up, Cowboy Corner? You muted. You
You're
muted.
muted.
You muted.
You are muted.
All right, now go.
What's going on, you guys? Thanks for having me.
All right, and man, hey, he's not a Cowboy fan, but he is our personnel director of the Cowboy Up podcast. Is our man Kuiper AZ. What's up, Kuiper?
Yeah, how you guys doing, man? Thank you guys for having me.
Hey, man. I know people are like, why do we got an Arizona Cardinal fan on the Cowboy Up podcast? Well, let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. His knowledge, okay, and it works for us. So let's hey man, let's get straight to it, right? This is why I got this damn round table, man. And first of all, welcome everybody to the round table, man. Appreciate y'all all the time that y'all give us and everything. Everybody who's watching, like, subscribe, and share it to us, and then matter subscribe to everybody on here. All right, the big news: Mike is out. Mike McCarthy is out. And I'm gonna be real quick with this. Mike should have been out 2 years ago. But Mike is out. So we're gonna start with Paul and Kyle, because I know they got the shortest amount of time. Paul, when you first heard the news, man, what did you think, man?
Not generally surprised, if I'm being perfectly honest. Like, I feel like this season, like, either you love Mike McCarthy or you don't. I feel like he was not given much opportunity or much to work with, like, in terms of what Jerry and Stephen tried to do this offseason. So it was kind of more or less set up for failure. So, but when you look at how he's done all the key important games, his play calling, sometimes the inability to hit the ball through the red zone, and all those, like, 5 seasons we've had him now, it was just a matter of time that something was going to happen. And if he was to be kept on, it was more so like, well, okay, what's Jerry and Stephen going to do to kind of help support him going forward? But clearly, it's not going to happen.
It's not. Kyle, when you got the news, man, what did you think? What was your first initial reaction when you got the news?
Yeah, rest in peace, Mike McCarthy. I was very surprised. I had thought he was going to return. I thought he was going to be back. And I think Jerry still wanted him back, but he tried to throw an incentive-based contract at Mike. Mike was probably insulted, did not like that, was probably telling him, hey, look, when I have a starting quarterback, we have 12-plus win seasons, and when I don't, we're going 6-10 and 7-10. So Jerry was trying to penny pinch once again with his head coach this time and not the players, and Mike decided to walk. I don't know how official that is, but I'm reading in between the lines. That's probably what happened. But at the end of the day, when we all watched that press conference 5 years ago, everyone advertised to us that we were going to win a Super Bowl. This is the reason why you bring Mike in. He knows how to win a Super Bowl. He's won a Super Bowl at AT&T Stadium. This is the reason why he's here. Flash forward 5 years, and he only has one playoff win against a Tom Brady who is at the end of his career or already thinking about retirement and was 1-3 in the playoffs. So it hurts for me to see Mike go because I think he's a great Monday through Saturday head coach. And he really, he got winning culture back in Dallas. And even though we were consistent, he's better. He was better than Jason Garrett because Jason Garrett was consistently mediocre, 8-8. And if Mike McCarthy got you consistently 12 wins when he has a starting quarterback, that's a step up. So, but at the end of the day, we're here to win the big one, and he wasn't close. And a lot of the times you can blame it on the players, but Mike didn't get the job done, so we got to move on to the next one.
All right. Anthony, when you first heard the news, bro, what did you think?
Well, it's just Cowboys. It's just so typical Cowboys. Not only do we sign our players too late, we fire our coaches too late. He should have been fired after the Green Bay game. Instead, we fiddle-fucked our way through 2024, and it showed. Like, he should have been gone right after the Green Bay game. It would have made sense. Like, the 2024 would have made sense if they then signed him to a 2 or 3 year contract, but they didn't. So he should have been fired after the Green Bay game like every Cowboys fan wanted, but instead Jerry Jones and the Jones family just wasted another full year of our lives cheering for this team. So I'm ready to move on to the next coach, but get ready to just have every headline be about it. Like yesterday in the Rams-Vikings game at halftime, they're talking about Deion Sanders and what coach is going to be brought in instead of talking about the postseason. So it's like, just get ready for it, Cowboys Nation. We're going to have it shoved in our faces until they get the next coach. But yeah, it was time to move on. I just think it was 1 year too late.
Cowboy Corner, your initial reaction when you heard Mike was gone?
Oh, I was pissed.
Really?
I was pissed. Not because they fired Mike McCarthy. I wanted Mike McCarthy fired. You have a third head coach coming in here for Dak Prescott who just inked a new deal, who has lower body. Mike McCarthy and Dak Prescott should have left at the exact same time. You rebuild your head coach, you rebuild the quarterback position, and you get a fresh salary cap. That's how you start over. Now you're going to have your third coach under Dak who has lower body injuries, who's injury prone. Jerry Jones did this half-ass backwards. I was pissed because we're still stuck with one more guy who, Tony the Goat Romo, is also 1-3 under Mike McCarthy in the playoffs.
All right. So, Kuiper, AZ, man, from the outside perspective, man, when you heard the news, what did you think?
I laughed my ass off. Because it's just so hilarious. You could have had the week every other team had to find a head coach, to do the interviews. Instead, you waited until Mike McCarthy was out of free agency. This doesn't happen. That we don't ever see a head coach just outplay his contract like that. He's either extended or he's fired. And it shows just how stupid Jerry Jones has been this entire year with this organization.
Right.
He did the same thing with
hilarious.
Jason Garrett.
I laughed.
Make sure you mark that down. He did the same thing with Garrett. He never fired Garrett. He let the contract run out. Jason Garrett was in the building when Jerry Jones told him we're interviewing Mike McCarthy.
All right, real quick, everybody say hello to mommy. That's my mama. Hi, mama.
Hello.
Hi, Mom.
Hello.
Hello.
Love you.
All right. So, Rue, when you heard the news, Rue, what did you think?
I was shocked simply because for weeks I've been saying it looks like deja vu to me. Looks exactly like what we got with Jason Garrett. You got Tony Romo, Dak Prescott. You got Des Bryant, CeeDee Lamb. You got Micah Parsons, DeMarcus Ware. It was just a whole new script, same team in my head. And I was just I was sold on the fact that you kept Jason Garrett every year after 8-8, 8-8, 8-8, missing playoffs. You kept him after all that. I expected Mike McCarthy to still be here with the 12-5 records 3 years in a row on his resume. I expected him to be right here. Jerry loves his money, and he's the type of guy who's going to penny pinch and let a coach's contract run out. That's just the way Jerry works. But at the end of the day, I'm very curious what the plan is here. Because that's all my mind went to as soon as I found out he was gone. I was like, what is the plan? Because just like Corner said, normally in these situations, you're coming into a situation where it's like, I got a clean slate or this, that, and the other, or you've got a guy that you really believe in. And at this point with Dak Prescott, I should have looked it up before I came in, but when was the last time he played a full season? Just in recent history, when was the last time he played a full season, didn't miss 3 to 4 games? When was the last time? It's been a while.
2023.
Okay.
He played every single game. I
think he was out. I think he was out maybe the final, but he wasn't injured in
not
any
the
games
final, because the final probably didn't.
No, but the 2023 he was out there. It was 2022 he had the thumb. 2021 he had the thumb. 2022 I think he had like a calf or something, but 2023 I want to say he was in almost all the games. Like I don't think he missed time in 2023.
And he should have won MVP.
Yeah, like he played the majority. I'm gonna. And now you got me a little nervous, but I'm gonna say he played all the games in 2023.
Yeah,
Clip that.
He did.
Clip that.
He did.
Let's check that.
That is correct.
They're in the chat. I was gonna say I could have sworn he missed a couple games. He had the calf strain last year.
No, that was the year before.
It wasn't.
2022.
It was. Okay. Well, then either way, but all I'm saying is they're starting to pile up, and this year it's a season-ending injury because aside from 2023, you can really say what? Because 2022 we got the calf, 2021 we all know what happened in 2020. This is a repetitive thing with him. And listen, I'm a Dak believer. I believe that he can deliver at moments, and there's things that he's done. We've had the argument he should have been MVP last year. Everything everything that we thought that he was going to bring to us last year, he brought it. 4,000 plus passing yards, 30 plus touchdowns, single digit interceptions. It all happened. And to see what he was this year, because we can't even say the season was a failure, right? But ultimately, because of the injury, but he exactly. He didn't play well throughout the first few games, and I'm sidetracked now. But ultimately, with Mike, I'm shocked that they actually did it. But now I want to know what the plan is. I went right into Dak Prescott, didn't I? I'm sorry.
There is no plan.
Yeah. All right. So 21. You're our last one about the initial reaction to Mike McCarthy. Man, what was your initial reaction?
So initially surprised, because it's Jerry being Jerry. Jerry blocks this man from an interview, and then Jerry lets him go. So you're just like, okay. At the beginning, I was thinking, okay, we're gonna get Mike McCarthy again. We kind of have to, go forward with this because, he's coming back. He blocked the interview, right? So we're getting ready for it, and then there's no deal done. Then my reaction was like, okay, I'm glad. Mike McCarthy, his time here in Dallas was up. We all saw the writing on the wall since the Green Bay game. You wanted Kellen Moore out of here so you can get the play calling. We didn't see nothing improve. We seen that offense kind of digress, right? We seen it get worse, I guess. Since Kellen Moore his departure, but it's just It's time. We saw what we got with Jason Garrett. It's just all those years, and we just rode with it. And so it was time for Mike to go. It's good. Let's see what's next. That's my thing. I'm with everybody. What's next?
All right. Matter of fact, you led me into my question. So, like I say, all right, Paul. What is the plan? What's the plan, Paul? Paul, if you were the GM of the Dallas Cowboys, what is your plan?
Well, I would definitely look for a more offensive-minded coordinator. I would to be our head coach in terms of maybe your Joe Brady or your Ben Johnson. More preferably for me, it would be Joe Brady, because if he can turn Josh Allen with no 1,000-yard receiver and no 1,000-yard running back, and still manage to put up those performances under that offensive scheme, that's something to take note of. And obviously, you've got the more aggressive style with Ben Johnson, who's willing to go all out with that under the tutelage of Dan Campbell. I think you've got a mixture of combinations. That's the type of thing I would tend to look at as really something to really upset, like change the narrative, the culture within the Cowboys to really a shot to the system, because that's exactly what we read right now. We cannot go, like, if it was me, I would stay the hell away from Kellen Moore. Stay away from him. I'm sorry. Like, he was offensive coordinator for the Chargers, did jack shit on that, right? Yes. He goes to Philadelphia, who's pretty much under Sirianni's thumb and with a thumb up his ass and basically just being told what to do. And he's like, so, oh yeah, Kellen Moore's back to his greatest. No, it's still the same scheme. They're still doing the tush push. They're still doing the same routes. They're still doing the same thing that they did. It's like, doesn't matter what quarterback and head coach. It's all about the quarterback and head coach. When you look at like Andy Reid, right? Everyone talks about Eric Beremy, the offensive coordinator. Oh, he should have been the head coaching role, whatever than that. But guess what? Beremy went to the Commanders, did jack shit there. Right, and you've got different OCs going to Kansas, and Kansas are still winning Super Bowls. So I don't think it's a matter of the OC; it's happening in that regard. So
your plan is just to stay away from Kellen Moore.
Yeah, that's the plan. Anyone but Kellen Moore.
Anybody but Kellen Moore. All right, Cal. You're the general manager now, the Dallas Cowboys. Thanks for endorsing me as your head coach. But where would you go?
There's so many
ways.
Be
your plan?
Yeah, there really is so many ways to go. I think all of us can agree. Your number one coach that you should pursue is Ben Johnson. I mean, he's the hottest candidate coming out. He should be the one. But we all know that Jerry's not going to do that. We all know that's too much money. We all know, first-year head coach. It's just going up against everything that Jerry believes in picking his head coach. So I would choose Ben Johnson, but I know he's not going to choose Ben Johnson. It's really weird because Rue kind of touched on this because they're kind of in a weird state where you are in a win now mentality because you signed Dak to a massive contract. You signed CeeDee Lamb to a contract. You're about to sign Micah to a contract. But you're also in a rebuild phase because Stephen Jones is really adamant about getting that salary cap in the right spot. It's a really interesting situation. There's no vision. And I really don't find, like Troy Aikman said last night, it's not a coveted position. It really isn't. I mean, the only thing that you're getting from it is the star. And is that even enough to like want to coach for the Dallas Cowboys? I would say if you want to win now, but rebuild and give yourself a chance, like a legitimate chance, I would go out there and pursue a name like Mike Tomlin. I would imagine that Pittsburgh is getting tired of him, maybe because of the lackluster performances in the playoffs. That's who I would maybe want to see if you want to win now, rebuild, establish culture, keep this train going. I would like to see Mike Tomlin.
That's a touchy subject with the big fella.
Yeah, for sure.
And lastly, and I know Mike Tomlin is, when you look at the statistics, you're not really changing a lot from Mike McCarthy statistically. And then lastly, I do think I'll leave you with this. The one that I think they're actually going to hire, despite everything that I've said, is I actually do think Kellen Moore is going to be your next head coach. I don't like it. I don't want it. I completely agree with Paul. Everything you said. You can go back on my channel. I don't like Kellen Moore. Never thought it was a great situation. And we can all agree on that. And we've all said that on our respective channels. But I do believe that's the way he's going to go. I think he falls in the price range that Jerry wants. The experience, I think it'll actually be Kellen Moore.
You don't have to sugarcoat it, Cal. Basically, Kellen Moore as Jerry Jones's bitch.
Yep. Yep.
It's true. Anthony.
We could talk all night, but I think the majority of us know we're probably going to have Kellen Moore.
Yeah.
All right. Anthony Betsy, you are the new general manager of the Dallas
All right,
Cowboys.
Here we go. Okay, all right.
What is your plan?
Okay. I got something that's crazy. It's going to work, though. I'm going to squeeze this storyline out for as long as I can. I'm going to make sure that I just have it on every football fan's mind while the NFL playoffs are on, when all football fans should be worrying about other shit. I just want everybody to be talking about my team. So I'm not going to hire anyone yet. I'm going to put out news articles about Deion Sanders coming here. I'm going to put news articles about John Gruden here. And then I'm going to do what every fucking fan doesn't want me to do. And I'm going to hire Kellen Moore, because that's what's going to happen, guys. None of us want it, but buckle up. That's what's going to happen. We can talk about the Ben Johnsons. We can talk about the next genius kid, the next coordinator that's up and coming. Why in your right mind would you go and work for Jerry Jones? You just wouldn't do it. Money's not, one, he's not going to pay you the amount you want. Two, once you get there, he's going to cut your legs out from underneath you. The only person that we're going to get is someone that's going to bend the knee, kiss Jerry's ring, and do what Jerry wants. And Kellen Moore's that guy, or some washed up coach that none of us want. So
Mike
Cowboys
Zimmer.
Nation, buckle up. Or Mike Zimmer, exactly. So whoever we want personally and whatever we want to do personally, it ain't happening. So it's probably the last option we want. And now we're 3 for 3 saying Kellen Moore that none of us want, but that's probably going to be the guy that we end up getting. And it sucks, but get ready for it.
Boom.
All right, Cowboy Corner. You're the new general manager of the Dallas Cowboys, man.
Help
What
us
is
all,
your
please.
plan?
It has to be Kellen Moore, because Mike McCarthy wasn't able to bring, and this was on 105.3 The Fan today. Jane Slater reported on this. Mike McCarthy couldn't put his offense in because they wanted him to run the Jason Garrett, Kellen Moore offense, because that's all he knows. So we're strapped to the hip with Kellen Moore. Why? Because that's all Dak Prescott knows. And Jerry's going to make everything comfortable for Dak Prescott. Everything comfortable. So this all boils down to one guy, Dak Prescott. That's why Kellen Moore is going to be the coach, because we got spoiled wacky dacky wacky packy in here for 4 years. And this Kellen Moore is going to be the guy because of one guy alone.
Wacky Packy, what's that mean?
Wacky Packy. Wacky Pack is a Sonic Kids meal, and Dak is whack. So he's a little kid that's whack. That's what Wacky Dacky Wacky
But as
Packy
he
means.
should be, right? Because he's your franchise quarterback. He should really have a strong opinion on who the next head coach is.
And it's going to be, and you know, when Kellen Moore gets it, you can say bye to accountability. You can say bye to any ounce of culture we have left in that locker room. Kellen Moore is a pushover. He was at the quarterback coach position. He was the backup. He was as the offensive coordinator. And he's definitely going to be a pushover at the head coaching position. It's going to be a clown show. Get ready.
All right. Now, I play a personnel director here at the Cowboy Up Podcast. Now, you're the new GM of the Dallas Cowboys. What is your plan, Kuiper?
It really is just finding somebody who will take Dak Prescott. Not if Dak Prescott likes him. Whoever wants or can do something with Dak. Whoever will feasibly say, you know what, Dak Prescott's my QB, I can roll with this. And it is Kellen Moore. Or it's going to be Mike Zimmer. It's one of those two, because both of them already know how to deal with Jerry Jones. Both of them know that they can't do shit with Jerry, and Jerry knows that equally. So there's no other possible thing that can be. Everybody's saying Deion Sanders. Sanders doesn't want to leave Colorado. That dude has life good. He still has his kids playing in Colorado. He's not gonna leave that shit. So yeah, Kellen Moore. That's the only person it can be.
All right. Rue. I know you probably gonna pick Sarkeesian, but no, that's not right. So you are the new player personnel director, all the way from Austin, Texas, back at home in Plano. What are you gonna do, Rue? What's your plan for the Cowboys?
I mean, if it's up to me, there's no doubt in my mind what I'm doing is going after Ben Johnson. I'm looking for an offensive-minded head coach. That's what's worked all across the NFL for every other playoff team that you've seen, especially every repetitive one. But I wouldn't even mind taking a peek at a guy like Robert Saleh. Brian Flores is like hit or miss for me. I really can't figure it out. But if I'm going defensive, those are probably the guys I'm looking at. And then, you know, Deion's Deion. I don't know if Deion's bending the knee to Jerry Jones, and this whole thing is kind of ludicrous to me. I don't know if he was offered the job, I bet he would leave Colorado, but I don't think that it's going to be Dion, and I don't know if Dion would want to start his NFL career in this kind of situation. Dion's not a dumb guy. But what's going to happen is I'm going to experience deja vu. It's just not what I thought it was going to be. It's Jason Garrett all over again, and this kind of sucks. Because the more and more you talk about it, the more and more it's like, man, is Kellen Moore really coming back here to be the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys? Is this really how this is going to go down? We went from Bill Parcells to Garrett. Now it's I mean, I don't know. It's one of these. It's pretty shitty that this is what it's really going to come down to, and I hope it doesn't. I hope they actually make a good hire, and I hope they figure something out, because they can do something in this draft. Like, there's no telling what they could end up trying to finagle out of a deal or do something, but Jerry got to get out of the way and let somebody else do it. You know, whether it's Steven or whoever, somebody else has to do it. And Steven can't be afraid to pull the trigger, because no matter how much we talk about Jerry, I don't know how many decisions Jerry is making. I believe he's making decisions like spending a 4th-round pick on Trey Lance. But I don't know if
don't
he's
get
doing
me started
much
on
else
that, bro.
outside
Please
of
do not get me started in that trap.
that. But
Oh,
you know, if I'm looking at head coaches, man, there's a lot of good options out there. I don't think they'd go college. I think they'd go with experienced head coach, veteran head coach, something like a John Gruden. I wouldn't be surprised by that at all. But I'd rather go in that direction than Kellen Moore. And yeah, it's just kind of everybody's with Paul, right? Anybody but Moore.
Go ahead.
I want to throw in a wee fun fact. The last 2 head coaches that came out of college actually won us the Super Bowl. That was Barry Switzer and Jimmy Johnson. Yeah,
Berries don't count. That was Jimmy's team.
I know. It was technically, you're right. Technically, yeah, I agree.
They come out of college.
Came out of college, though.
But basically,
He's right.
but basically,
But also, you got to talk about the buyout too, because I think Dion has an $8 million buyout with Colorado. If we're throwing Sark's name in there, Sark has $6 million, and then if we want to throw in another name, Bill Belichick has a $10 million buyout at UNC. So
Give him 20.
Would Jerry pay that buyout? Oh, is it 20? Yeah. So,
No, I said give him
No.
20. I was kidding.
Give him 20.
All right, 21. You're the new general manager, man. All the way from El Paso to 915. The new general manager of the Dallas Cowboys is Armando 21. What's up, man? What is your plan, Armando?
You know, Tony Go Romo took the words out of my mouth, man. If we're gonna go, you know, and talk the Dion's and the, you know, these guys that we're gonna have to buy out, you know, go get that Bill Belichick, go get a proven head coach. This man, you know, work around that defense. He has a Micah, you know, we know we have the quarterback. We know who he's gonna be, right? It's Dak Prescott, but let's build where our future is. And that's that defense. We need a defensive guy in here. You know, the Robert Salahs, but you know, I'm going Bill Belichick. I'm buying out that UNC contract, and let's go Bill Belichick. You know, will that happen? Probably not. You know, Bill Belichick, I don't think he's gonna be that pushover that Jerry wants. So we saw a little bit of a pushover with Mike McCarthy when, you know, he got his, you know, he was I feel like he was forced to put Zeke in there, right? So I don't think Bill Belichick is that guy where he's gonna be like, I want this guy, and you know, we know how that's gonna go. So, you know, but yeah, I mean, I'm going defense. A defensive coordinator in mind. That's our future. We have a Micah Parsons. You know, let's work around that defense.
All right. Well, Dallas Cowboy Chris, you're the new general manager of the Dallas Cowboys. And first thing I'll do, I'm gonna call over to the UK and tell Paul Stewart, shame on you for even bringing up Mike Tomlin's name in any conversation with me. That's number one. Then my next call is going to be to Canada to Anthony. Is like, what the hell are you thinking?
Do you know how much it costs to call me?
Yeah, hey, I'll text you. Then I'm going to call Tony to go, Romo, are you serious? Are you serious? And he doesn't even cuss because he's a religious man. He wrote a great book on religion. I will call him and curse him, and then I'm gonna call Cowboy Corner, and we just gonna get into an argument like we always do, and it's gonna last an hour. So, as the new general manager, I thank y'all, black guy, general manager for the Cowboys, and I'm not a Republican. Jesus. Hey man, thank y'all for this job. Look, this is what I would do. Honestly, I would go young. I don't care who the young guy is. I just need the young guy to come in, and I want him to bring in all his people. I think it need to be a complete turnover in the coaching staff and let the new coach go. Because when we keep hearing all these wonderful, beautiful names, like Bill Parcells and all the retreads and things like that, they could have brought in Bill Parcells last year. They didn't, and the reason he didn't is because Jerry Jones is always stuck in his ways. Now, if he brings in Kellen Moore, this is really going to be a shot to the dome to me. Like, we got rid of him for a reason. And that real reason, we talked about it on this show. I said situational play calling. And the reason Kellen Moore is successful now because you got the best damn running back in the league, you got the best offensive line in the league, and the two best receivers in the freaking league. You got to win 12 games. You have no choice. Kellen Moore, Cowboy fans, remember why you wanted to get rid of him. Remember it. But hey, y'all know we Cowboy fans, and you know what Jerry Jones is going to do. Chris. The exact opposite. Go ahead, Paul. I know you ain't got much time. Go ahead.
No, just remember he was at Los Angeles, didn't do jack crap with Justin Herbert, etc. Nope. When he goes to Philadelphia, he's basically Sirianni's little skivvy, pretty much. So how much of an offense is actually Kellen Moore's? Because they're running the exact same offense from last year, pretty much. They really are.
Yeah. And not to mention, he just went to the Eagles. Like, you're gonna take a guy who's basically been inbred with the Eagles for the last year, who's running the same offense, and you're gonna bring him back. You're gonna play that team twice a year. Please don't do that. Like, that just sounds so bad.
I know.
That's terrible.
And so Eagles, though, they're not running their Kellen Moore's offense. Kellen Moore had to keep the same offense, but manage it better than the previous coordinator. This isn't Kellen Moore's offense, and that's probably outside of Saquon Barkley. Their passing game is what it is. You got Jalen Hurts there, but that's not Kellen Moore's offense.
Now, I promise Paul and Cal, I get them out here in 30. I'm 9 minutes over. Okay.
No, I can stay for another 10, 15. Okay.
All right. So whenever y'all ready to bail, just let me know.
Handcuff them, make them stay. You're handcuffed now, boys. You ain't going nowhere, son.
First of all, everybody who's watching, Paul is in the UK, right? And it is literally, what time is it? It is 2:39. Was it 2:39?
Oh, get over it, Paul. Don't give us your sob story.
Just pretend you're tailgating and you just keep going, man.
I'm in my happy place now.
Okay, so I know we kind of discuss who we would want as coach. Okay, I'm gonna go around the panel. Just give me one name. So we'll start with you, Paul. Just give me a name. Who that one name? That put it like this: if money was no object, no nothing. If this is my person, who would it be for you?
In terms of who's available,
head coach. Right now? No. It don't matter if they're available or not. The one name that you would want to be the coach.
That's a big question.
Man, I have to say I do enjoy watching Dan Campbell, how he's evolved his team. That'd probably be something I would like. That would be a nice scenario. Like, if he was to do that transition, what he's done with Detroit to us, that would be instrumental. So, but of all the guys that are available out there right now, I'm with Ben Johnson or Joe Brady from Buffalo. One of those guys.
Paul, I need one answer. Give me one.
Sorry.
Who would it be, Paul?
Dream scenario, it probably would be Dan Campbell.
All right. Kyle, who is your one name?
I think
no restrictions. No restrictions.
No, I got you. I think a head coach obviously matters, but I think, and you'll probably talk about this after I leave, but it's about who that coach brings in. I think it's how much do they depend and trust their offensive coordinator and their defensive coordinator. I think that's a really big thing too. Because, Mike taking over the play calls just did not work. And so I think you need a coach who can establish culture, lead these men. And I'm going to throw a wild card out there. If I had all the money in the world like I know Jerry does, I'm going to go Deion Sanders. I'm going to grab Deion. And you know what? For so long, Cowboys fans have been like, let's get a coach who can handle Dallas. What if we just reverse it? Where we get a coach who loves Dallas, who just loves the media, leans into it, utilizes it, embraces it. Maybe we've been going about this the wrong way, guys. Maybe we've been resisting it too much. Maybe we just need someone to go hand in hand with Jerry and ride this ship and drive this train. So give me Deion Sanders, bring his staff in, and let's go win a Super Bowl.
See, I actually kind of like where you're going with that, to be fair, because Dion would actually outstage Jerry on the media front, and Jerry wouldn't like that at all.
All right, corner, your one name. If no restrictions, brother, who would you want?
It would have to be somebody who hasn't won a Super Bowl, because history shows if you won a Super Bowl with one team, it's very hard to win it with another. It has to be a former Cowboy player. All right, and the guy is
Jason Witten.
Aaron Glenn, the Lions defensive coordinator.
Oh, Aaron Glenn. Okay. okay. Aaron Glenn. All right, Kuiper. One name, Kuiper.
Damn. I would say, I think Mike Tomlin. Honestly, I agree with the Mike Tomlin thing. I think he would be badass in Dallas.
Yeah, good idea, Paul.
I think he would be great in Dallas, man. I'm sorry. He knows how to handle veteran QBs so well. He's a great defensive guy. I'm sorry. I would think Mike Tomlin would do good. And if not Mike Tomlin, Mike Vrabel would be an excellent head coach.
Whoa. One at a time. You can't be stealing people's picks that are going to be picking behind you.
We just let go of Mike Tomlin, a guy that can't get it done in the playoffs. We just got rid of that. Why we want bring another one in?
I mean, that's fair. But still, I think Mike Tomlin has had very shitty head coaches and very shitty offenses. I'd say Dak Prescott would probably be Mike Tomlin's best QB since Big Ben.
Okay,
that's true.
All right, I love you, Kuiper. I never mute you like I mute your father, but
Mike Tomlin's won a Super Bowl too. Mike Tomlin is a Super Bowl winner.
Yeah, whatever. Anthony.
Well, I was gonna go Mike Vrabel because I just felt Mike Vrabel, and then Kuiper AZ decided to name 14 people, so I didn't get my chance to pick him. So I'm gonna go pivot, and I'll stick to defensive-minded, hard-ass coaches. I think Robert Saleh would be good. Sure, he kind of fizzled out in New York, but that was his first stint as a head coach. I think that guy could bring a bit of a culture. I think he could get a hard-nosed defense there. Is it gonna work? I'm not too sure, but I'll take that over Kellen Moore any day of the week. And I think I would even take that over Deion Sanders. So I'm going to go Robert Saleh just because I liked what he did in San Francisco. And I think we have pieces in Dallas that could maybe mirror a pretty successful defense. So I wouldn't mind taking a run at Robert Saleh if it was right, and it could burn out and be terrible, but I don't hate it.
My mom told me to listen and don't judge.
Getting called out, man.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Rue, that is funny. Thanks, Mom. Rue, you're one person.
This man just gonna go ahead and pick my cousin. So that's just is what it is. I would like Robert Saleh, but if I could have any coach in the NFL today, any coach on the planet, I feel like the obvious answer is Andy Reid. But like if I could literally just pluck anybody out, no money, no cap, no option, whatever I wanted, I'd pick out Andy Reid. But outside of him, it's John Harbaugh, man. If you brought John Harbaugh to this team, I would love that. That dude's a winner. It is what it is.
Jesus. All right. You stole my person. But anyway, 21. Who's
I
your
just
one
want to
person?
reiterate, Paul, stop bringing up Mike Tomlin. But my guy is definitely. I'm gonna stick with my guns, and I'm going Bill Belichick. I would love to see what that culture would be in Dallas with Bill Belichick here. I think he's a winner, right? He had the quarterback, and you know I would love to see him. That's a defensive as a defensive guy. You have Parsons here. We all heard the comparisons when Parsons came in the league, and we all know what Bill Belichick did, right? So, you know, I would love to see that here, and I would, what that culture would be with him here.
All right. So since Rue took John, because I know people like, man, Chris the big Michigan fan, he gonna say Jim Harbaugh, but I was actually gonna say John just because his experience with the Ravens, but I gotta change now. So I'm just thinking who makes us win, who makes us accountable, and who makes the players accountable. And it was only one coach. It was Jimmy Johnson.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was Jimmy Johnson. So
salt in the
go ahead.
wounds.
Go ahead. Yeah. So
What version? 90s Jimmy or today's Jimmy?
Oh no, I need 90s Jimmy. I'm need 90s Jimmy, the pissed off Jimmy, just because the sun's out, he's pissed off. Like like Cat Williams say, "What you angry at breakfast?" Yeah, I'm angry. I'm angry. And so we always for those who play football, we always had that one coach who was always in our ass, right? Always. But when you start playing football, who did you remember most? That coach that was always in your ass and gave you and made sure you put out 100%, right? So to me, just in Cowboy, Tom Landry was a different type of coach. He was mild mannered. He let his other coaches be the devil. But Jimmy Johnson was all of it. Take your ass to the asthma field. I need that type of coach. Take your ass to the asthma field. So, all right. Let's go. All right, my last question for my my overseas guests and my short termers. All right, look, you had your pick. Okay, this is the next question. So, since you got your pick at head coach, is Dak still your quarterback?
Well, unfortunately, due to the contract, you kind of have to suss that out. But ideally, I think before signing that contract, we would still have to sign him because of the dead cap hit we would have had and would have really restricted our movement and free agency even more. But yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
Okay. Cal, is Dak still your quarterback?
Yes. Unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, but just because of the salary and just because of the contract, the dead cap hit, like Paul talked about, he's your quarterback for the next few years, whether you like it or not.
Okay. Mike, Cowboy Corner.
I'm going in day one, and I'm telling Dak, I'm benching your ass. Get ready to sit on the bench. And the competitor that Dak Prescott is going to waive that trade clause, and you're out, buddy. No, he's not my quarterback.
All right. Paul.
Already answered.
Oh, I'm sorry, Anthony. I'm sorry, Anthony. I'm sorry.
Oh shit! Yeah, here we go. Yeah, you're kind of you got Dak for the next bit, but I think the Cowboys need to do something that they haven't done in a long time, and they need to start drafting quarterbacks, if not every year, but at least every second year. Find a guy that you like some of his attributes in the draft and take a flyer at a guy. I would say 4th round, but we'd like to trade those for players that don't do fucking anything. So maybe in the 5th or 6th round. Take a quarterback, but there's going to be guys there that you like the attributes with, and you could have sit behind Dak. I just don't. I'm over the Cooper Rush isn't it? Even as a backup, we saw the Cooper Rush experiment this year, and it was like, guys, I don't know, it was so hard to watch. I couldn't even watch it. The Trey Lance thing's done. Draft a quarterback in this draft. I don't care what round it is, and have him sit behind Dak for a couple of years, and hopefully he has what it takes to take over later.
All right, Rue, is Dak still your quarterback?
Truthfully, I've gone back and forth on this, and I really am torn. But ultimately, with all of the lower body injuries and everything else, I know we bring up the dead money and everything that comes with trading him right now, or trying to figure out to trade him right now. But tell me how Denver feels after taking that huge hit with Russell Wilson right now today. How does Denver feel today? They feel pretty fucking good about themselves.
Yeah.
But I will say this. This isn't the year to do it. In my opinion, there's only one guy who's probably a first-round pick in this draft, and that's Cam Ward. It's not Shador.
Oh, yeah.
It's not Shador. It's probably Cam Ward, and outside of that, it's a project guy for no matter who you pick up. So I don't feel like this is the year to do that move or to make that move happen. So for the next year, yes, he's my quarterback. What happens going forward, we'll see if he makes it through another season.
All right. Kuiper AZ. Hey, you player personnel director, man. Is Dak our quarterback?
He's the quarterback for the next 2 years because there is no QB in this round. And you want a QB, a vet, to help your rookie quarterback, not this draft, the next draft. Help to get him developed, show him the ropes and everything. After that, you trade his ass or you cut his ass. That's it.
Okay. 21. Is Dak your quarterback?
One more year, yes, and only because you got to draft somebody. I'm with that. We have to draft somebody this year, whatever round. I just think we need somebody drafted. We need our future because Dak is not it. Dak is not that future, right? He's gonna be here another year, well, 4, right? But you need somebody to start, getting that playbook, and we need somebody at the helms already because it's just those injuries are piling up, and we just never know with Dak. So I say one more year, yes, and only to mentor, if that's what you want to call it.
Some of you need to be ashamed of yourself. Need to be ashamed of yourselves. Look, y'all know how I feel about Dak. Mike, Cowboy Corner, know these are 2-hour-long phone calls, and we go back and forth, okay, about Dak. But my whole thing is, man, yeah, y'all forget that the man should have won MVP. He was on fire, okay. Y'all put in these injuries and everything. And I remember when Justin Herbert signed his contract. Justin Herbert is better than Dak Prescott. Who would you take now? Oh, Trey, not the kid in Jacksonville. Lawrence is better than Dak Prescott. Who would you take now? Then now I've been hearing all this. Oh, Sam Darnold is better than Dak Prescott. Who would you take?
Behave now, Chris.
Yeah, let's not get crazy.
I'm just saying what people are saying. I'm not saying this.
Well, no, we know, but let's not get crazy here, though.
It's just like people forget how great Dak Prescott has been for the Cowboys. Now, the team hasn't been that great, but Dak Prescott has played very well for the Dallas Cowboys. And we always quick to move on, right? We're quick to move on. All right. So as soon as Tony Romo left, everybody was like, man, Tony Romo was the greatest quarterback ever. But when he was here, you hated him.
No.
Well, I didn't. I loved him. But I remember those 17 quarterbacks between him and Troy Aikman. You know what I mean? But we wishing for Dak to be gone. You wishing for Dak to be gone. But I think you wishing for the wrong thing. I really do. I think Dak Prescott can get you to the Super Bowl. And go ahead, Mike. I know you're ready. Go ahead, Mike.
No, he's 31. He can't stay healthy. And I was going to ask Cam Fam a question. Knowing his injuries and his health, Cam Fam, why would you go later rounds with the backup quarterback? Would you?
I don't think there's a good enough quarterback to spend a 1 to 3 round pick on right now. I think there's a couple. Yeah, this year, like this year, I don't think there is. If this was like the draft last year, where there was a shit ton of first round talent, and we're picking at 12, and you have a couple guys like Penix and JJ McCarthy and shit like that, yeah, then I'm thinking maybe you get one of those guys. But that's not happening this season. So, and I still think you need to get a quarterback in there because I think I'd rather have a quarterback in this rookie class in a later round than watch whatever Cooper Rush did this season.
I've got a counter argument when it comes to quarterbacks in the draft. When you look at the history of first-round quarterbacks, Baker Mayfield, Josh Rosen, Sam Darnold, the list goes on. All their selected teams, when they get drafted, they did absolutely terrible. It's because they were put into the worst situation as possible. If we were to draft a quarterback, I don't know, say in the top 3, we might be just being desperate. And you're right, there is no good quarterbacks in this year's draft. So if we were to draft in one of the, God forbid, if it was the first round, God forbid, I'm sorry, because they've got more important needs to do than get a first round so-called quarterback. But the point I'm trying to make is it's a gamble. But you see these other players like Mayfield and even Sam Darnold going into a different situation where they weren't expected to play as much, and now they're balling out. Don't get me wrong, Sam Darnold had an absolute stinker in that playoff game, but for that regular season, he was really good. And Baker Mayfield just came off his best ever season in the NFL. It's all about the situation, the culture, the setup, the general manager, everything. So
learning the game, getting some years to learn the game.
Yep, exactly.
So Cal, any rebuttal
About
the Dak Prescott thing?
Yeah, I mean, they tried to draft a quarterback, didn't they, with Ben DiNucci, and it just didn't work out.
Don't forget Paxton Lynch. Paxton Lynch as well.
Yeah, but we all have dope hats, though.
That's true.
The upside down hats.
I do want to rebut the idea that the Cowboys haven't tried to get a quarterback, because DiNucci, they drafted him. And then even though we all probably feel the same way about the whole Trey Lance situation, but that is Jerry and the Cowboys trying to do something about that backup quarterback situation and sit behind Dak Prescott, whether we like the 4th round draft or the trade or not. So I'll just rebut that. I'll rebut that I think they've tried to. Have they been successful? No, because like Paul said, I mean, it's a gamble to find a franchise quarterback. That takes a lot. And, the Cowboys lucked into 2 franchise quarterbacks back to back, and we only have 4 playoff wins combined between the 2 of them.
I wouldn't call that luck.
Here's my only thing.
The
Chris.
luck of finding 2 franchise quarterbacks that you could compete with. That's what I'm talking about. Not the statistical fact of 4 playoff wins.
Sorry, Ru, just to add in what you're just saying there, Cal, take the Carolina Panthers as of right now. See if Bryce Young was drafted by some other team, he might be in a much better situation and performing a lot better. But because the Panthers are a terrible organization, he's there. All the guns are coming out for him, pretty much. So, and I'm putting this as a little side bet right now. If Bryce Young was to get released from the Panthers and was to move on elsewhere and become the backup there, he might actually potentially become the starter there and actually might ball out. Look, we've seen it all before. All different teams, different systems.
He's done a lot better, though.
I think the collective bargaining agreement makes it tough to develop young quarterbacks because you have less time with them.
Yeah.
And so it's hard to develop it. The offensive line has to go to that guru offensive line. Tyler Guyton went to him. Cooper Beebe went to him, just because the coaches can't do it. I think the collective bargaining agreement kills these young quarterbacks today.
If that's one thing I would definitely do, is get rid of Solari, the offensive lineman coach. That's the first thing.
He should have been gone 2 years ago.
The fact that this guy is supposed to be 40 years plus an offensive lineman coach, and yet we've regressed as an offensive line this year.
100%.
For me, like you're saying, get Duke Manyweather, the guy who has the offensive line masterminds, absolute study of the game, knows all about the strength and conditioning when it comes to offensive linemen. If he's interested in actually coaching on a full-time, he resides in Dallas. I don't see why not. Make him a good offer, because he does get the best. He did get the best out of Terrence Steele for that 1 year, but obviously now under Solari, it's completely bombshelled since then.
He's right there with Paul Alexander, and Paul Alexander got fired mid-season. Why Mike Selarney's still here? Well, he ain't here no more technically because Mike's fired, but that was beyond me.
Yeah. All right, Rue, you want to finish your thought before Paul and Tony got to get out? Kyle got to get
No,
out.
I'm not mad. Shit, it is what it is. The fucking no. What I was gonna say, the problem is right now, this whole team is playing like a giant game of tug of war. That's literally what's happening with this roster. Steven's trying to rip the thing apart and selling it off piece by piece, while Jerry is paying key positions that it's like Tony Romo said, like Kyle said, they're in win now mode, win Super Bowl now mode. We have the highest paid quarterback, the highest paid player in the entire NFL on our roster. You have to be thinking win now. And truth be told, I know that this roster can be put together with the right guidance, because obviously we're getting a new head coach. But they can be put together to be a successful organization. We've seen this team win 36 games in 3 years. That wasn't nothing. It's not nothing. So the fact that they were able to do that proves that it can be done with this roster, and they do have the pieces in place. We have good corners. We have Micah Parsons. We have Dak Prescott. And say what you will about him, he's still a good quarterback in this league. This year was a weird year. He was very bad this year, and I don't really understand what happened. I don't know if it was just because of all the BS that was going on throughout the entire preseason with CeeDee Lamb. Is he coming? Is he not coming? Are we going to get another receiver? Are we going to do anything in free agency? Nothing. Everything moved us forward, and he ended up starting out this year with CeeDee getting signed a week before the season starts and him getting signed at the witching hour, which really made no sense. And it's like Steven's trying to rebuild while Jerry's trying to keep it all in place and keep his team relevant and sell tickets. I don't know what to think about everything, but it's like, if you put the right pieces in place, this team can be successful. And we can all be sitting here talking about Dak Prescott won us a Super Bowl. And it can go. I really feel like he was, especially after last year. Last year really crushed me. And I know it crushed all of us because I expected to win it all last year. The Lions made it to the NFC Championship game last year. The Lions did. Say whatever you want. They're a completely different team this year, in my opinion, and they've been very resilient. And I think they'll probably do it again this year. But damn it, you can't tell me on this side of the division, it wasn't wide open. You have the senior at quarterback. He had a career year. There was no reason for me to think he wasn't going to do that this year. He didn't, but they didn't do anything to help that situation out either. So it goes both ways. I'm out on Dak Prescott right now solely because of age and attrition. It's not even about his level of play, because I know he can elevate his level of play. We've seen it. But at this point, it's time to cut bait and move on, and you trapped yourself into this contract when you really didn't have to. He was going to play this year anyway, and honestly, if it would have played out the exact same way, you're probably still retaining him at a lower number.
Oh, don't say that.
All right. So hey, man, first of all, thanks for Paul and Cal for joining, especially Paul, man, that time difference. But Paul, man, if you got any final thoughts, man, and we need you to promote your damn channel too. Go ahead, baby.
Yeah, so obviously run the World's Team podcast, try and bring international Cowboys fans all together. It's not just America's team, it is the World's Team. Lovers or haters, that is just the goddamn truth. But I think I've just got maybe one wee question for all you guys before I do go. If there was one head coach that it's not even on the radar that we've not even talked about, who would you go for? I mean, and I'll start. No one's actually talked about the likes of Freeman, the head coach for Notre Dame. No one's talked about him. I know some people.
I've seen one or two reports on Twitter. I think.
I think with Freeman, it's to me like Sarkisian. I mean, why would you leave Texas? Why would you leave Notre Dame when you got gravy jobs, you got all the money in the world, and you can get the players you want?
True.
But Chris, it's the NFL. It's the NFL. It's the show. It's the NFL. It's more money. It's the pride of being able to be a part of that shield. They do this to do that. At least in my opinion. You have lifers that are in college. You have those lifers. But there's plenty of guys that would be happy to tip their cap and throw their hat in the ring in the NFL. And that's why you do the job.
Exactly.
I believe or not, I just saw an article from Fox Sports. They've actually thrown Pete Carroll's name in the name. Good Lord.
Yeah.
Oh, God, please don't. Pete Carroll's like 104 years old.
Imagine him and Fossil running around on the sideline.
Oh, God, bro. Him just chewing his gum.
Anyway, Paul, man, thanks for your time, man. Try to get a few hours of sleep, bro.
Yeah, get some sleep.
Man, I'll sleep when I'm dead.
Yeah,
Hey, Paul, man, much love, man. Thanks for coming, man. Hey, everybody, tune into the World Team Podcast, and man, you can find Paul Stewart on Instagram. It's right there underneath his name, and also you can follow him on TikTok on World's Team on TikTok. Appreciate you, brother.
Thanks again, guys, and
love you, Paul.
Love you all, guys. Love you too, Anthony. Crack them if you got them.
Later, brother.
Crack if you got him.
All right, Cal, man. Once again, appreciate you joining us, Cal. Man, you got any final thoughts, brother?
Yeah, and appreciate you guys you having me on, and it's good to see each and every one of you in this live stream. I'll say this: I think we can go around in circles and talk about who we like, who we don't like, who we think is going to be. At the end of the day, and I've been very adamant about this, we've seen in the past 28 years different starting quarterbacks, different head coaches, different offensive coordinators, different defensive coordinators, but there is still one person that has yet to change his position, and he's still been there, and he's the main reason why the Cowboys haven't gone back to the Super Bowl, and it's Jerry Jones. And he's the one that has to make this decision. And I'll just say this: I have absolutely zero faith in this man to make the right decision. I think we can be optimistic, we can have fun and have shows like this and want this guy and like this guy, but like I just have zero faith in him to make the actual right decision. And unbiased and realistically, got to stay true to my brand. I think we are heading into the dog days. I'm looking at the Cowboys having no vision. I felt like Mike McCarthy leaving caught the Joneses by surprise. They wanted to get him on a cheap deal, and they didn't. And now they're recouping like they always are, and they're late to the table like they always are, and they're going to approach it like they always do. And it's just not a winning formula. And so I have no faith. I think we are heading for the dog days. I think we're heading for those Dave Campo days, the 5-11 days. Now it would be 5-12 with the new game, but guys, realistically, like I'm a fan for life, but I look at it. I mean, there's just no one going to come in here and sweep in and save the day for Cowboys Nation and for this franchise and piece together all these moving parts. But hey, man, I'm a Cowboy fan for life, and I'm here for it. But I just have no faith, and that's where I'll leave. I'll leave off on that.
Wow. That's an outro.
Yeah, I know. Cal, man.
Burn it all down to the ground.
Yeah, burn it. Fuck it all.
Appreciate you. Hey, appreciate you joining us. And one more plug, man. If you don't have my channel, you really need to go to the Cowboy Up Podcast Established 2024 and watch Cal's conversation with Chris. It's one of the best that we had all last season, man. I appreciate it, man. We learned a lot of things, man. And hey, is anybody on the panel right now an author, written a book? No. This guy, he has.
I'm just like, I don't like books.
It would have been my guess if I had to guess anyone. Sure, shit ain't gonna be Cowboys Corner. He ain't writing a book. I would have been guessing TGR.
But hey, Cal, man, appreciate you. Much love, man. Thanks for joining.
Thanks for having me on. It's good to see each and every one of you. Go Cowboys as always. See you guys.
Peace out.
Love you, TGR. Oh, he left. Damn it.
All right, now. Mike has to run too. So Mike, man, give me your final thoughts, man.
No, man, it's the dog days is a simple way to put it, but it's funny how this world turns. I sit here and argued with guys on Twitter, argued with guys here on the Cowboy Up podcast, basically everywhere, campaigning campaigning not to extend Dak Prescott. From January to September, I campaigned all offseason.
It almost worked.
And they signed him. But in the midst of all this arguing, it was Dak Prescott gives us the best chance to win. Dak Prescott can lead us here. Dak Prescott can do this. Now, removed from here and what we know now, there's a slight change in the temperature. It's almost like, I told you so. That's what it's almost like. I argued with Rue, and Rue said, I'm out on Dak right now. It's almost like the temperature just changed. No one's going to give me my flowers. I don't want my flowers because what sucks the most is that star is in mourning. I'm working on an edit right now, having a black veil over the star. It's going to be my Twitter profile, and it's going to be my YouTube profile pic because we are in a stage of mourning with this team. Jerry Jones has no sense of direction. He got cute so much, his candle has finally burnt out. He don't know what he's doing. He don't left from right. And the next head coach that comes in here, he's already set up for disaster. He can't pick his new quarterback. He has to go be salary cap strap because they're not going to go get free agents. They're going to build through this mediocre draft this year with all these free agents, and 14 of the Dallas Cowboys free agents right now are over 30. The next head coach is set up for disaster. Dak Prescott is a disaster, and Jerry Jones is the mother nature to that disaster. Peace out.
All right. Thank you, Cowboy Corner. Always, you can follow Cowboy Corner on TikTok and especially Twitter.
Chris, give me my final thoughts because I gotta bounce too. Let me roll. It ain't gonna be as sad as those blokes. I'm gonna try to give something, man. Okay, yes, it sucks, Cowboys Nation. Everything sucks, but if you've ever tuned into anything Cowboys fan, we are 24/7 hype train. I do not care. The team could be 0-17. Let's hope it's not. But we are going to bring the heat every single day. Does it suck? Yeah, it sucks. It sucks to have a team with no plan. It sucks to have a team that has no vision, and we've lost a head coach. Our quarterback's getting old, and there's all the shit we could, sit here and cry about. But at the end of the day, I get to sit here and talk football with guys like you. I get to hang out with my brother and one of my best buddies and drink beer and shoot the shit, doing something that 10 years ago nobody ever did. So, yeah, it sucks, and we might be in the dog days, but I'm going to be having a great time the whole time. Me personally, like outside of the Cowboys franchise, we're going to be having a good time, man. Like 2025 is going to be a great year for all of us, man. Like outside of the Cowboys, is it going to be depressing? Possibly, but we're going to bring the heat, fellas. And let's just get to the draft. We have a 12th overall pick. There's going to be some dogs in this draft at 12. I don't care what anyone says. I know everyone that wanted us to tank to get a top 10 pick. Fuck those guys. At 12, we can still get a dog, somebody that we can build around. And hey, right now it seems shitty, but there's good times ahead, fellas.
I feel you, man. Thank you for being Mr. Positive.
Canadian. It's the Canadian in me, baby. No matter what, I'll tell you to go fuck yourself, but I'll do it with a smile on my face.
Hey, tell everybody where they can find you, even though everybody knows.
Anything Cowboys Can Fan, just everything. Any social media platform, just Cowboys Can Fan. Me, Adam, and Alex, we hit it. We do our Wednesday night show. We're going to be streaming all the games this weekend, even though the Cowboys aren't in it. We did our longest stream ever. We did a 10-hour stream on Sunday. 10-hour stream, dude.
Broke my record.
Broke the big fella the record when you were there. But yeah, we're going to be streaming all the rest of the playoffs, the Natty Championship. And you know what, man? We like watching football and drinking beer, so we're going to keep doing that.
All right, brother.
I love all you guys. I appreciate you for having me on.
All right, man. Have a good night. All right. So anybody that's watching us, man, you're more than welcome to jump on. Let me throw the link out, all right? Because we ain't done, but I know we had guests that had the boogie, so we just appreciate everybody from coming on. But the link is up, so if you want to join us, join us. All right, 21. You had a subject before the show. What was the subject again, brother?
Man,
oh, you forgot.
That was an hour ago.
Yeah. That was an hour ago.
Damn it, and it was a good one too.
Yeah,
Oh
I
man.
forgot because man, we were so intense. I was trying to make sure everybody got their comments in and everything like that. But do you remember it?
Okay, so it was the Troy Aikman comments.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Troy Aikman came out on I guess it was I don't know if it was halftime during one of the games or pregame, and he just talked about how this head coaching job is not a coveted job. And I think those are the words he used. It's not a coveted job. It's not a job that a lot of people are going to want to take, and solely because of Jerry, he pretty much put it out there. How do you guys feel about that? Is he right? I mean, this is coming from a Hall of Famer. This man won us 3 Super Bowls. 3, right? Yeah, 3 Super Bowls. Um, it sucks to see one of the guys that you grew up watching, and that's why you're a big Cowboys fan, and he comes out and he talks about your team like this, and it's true. It's sad to say, but it's true. I don't see big shout out to Cowboy Corner. Big shout out to everybody that was on the podcast today. If you guys are new to the channel, you guys make sure you guys like, subscribe to us, the Cowboy Up Podcast. So Corner touched on it. This job is not coveted. The coach who is coming here is set up for disaster solely because we have a general manager who doesn't like to get out of the way.
Well, 21. I found the video. Let me bring it up. Okay, hold on. I found it. And let me hit play. Let me turn it up. If I can turn it up. Hold on. It is up. Hold on. Dismiss. There it is. Let me hit play.
It goes in their separate ways. I don't think Mike will be out of a job for too long, but this job's as coveted as any because you're going to run the Dallas Cowboys. In what direction do you think they ought to look?
Well, I thought Mike McCarthy would be the head coach. So this is a bit of a surprise for me today that he's not going to be. And what went into those conversations that Schefter talked about, I'm not exactly sure, but it suggests that there's not a real plan. I mean, and the fact that they haven't had the opportunity to maybe interview a Ben Johnson and some of these others, Aaron Glenn. I think that what Schefter said as far as Kellen Moore being a candidate, that seems logical to me. A guy who has familiarity with the building. He's worked obviously with the Cowboys and with Jerry Jones, and they know each other very well. In fact, when Mike McCarthy got the job, it was told to Mike that Kellen Moore would be the offensive coordinator. So that's how much the Jones family thinks of him. Beyond that, it's hard to imagine. As far as a coveted job, I don't know that that's accurate. I mean, really? I do think the Cowboys are obviously a high-profile team. Whoever is covered or whoever is head coach of that team is certainly going to draw a lot of attention. But I think most football people that take over as a head coach, they want to do it on their terms.
That's fair.
That's hard to do. And it's, if you take a Dan Campbell, for instance, is Dan Campbell if he's with the Dallas Cowboys? It's hard to imagine that he is. It's hard to imagine that a lot of these coaches might be. So I love the Dallas Cowboys. I played there for 12 years. I wish them well. But to say that it's a coveted job, I'm not sure I would necessarily agree with.
All right. So, real quick, what do y'all think? Because to me, he didn't lie. He didn't lie. He did not lie. And we'll start with you, Kuiper. What did you think about Troy's statement?
He wanted to say worse than not coveted. He wanted to say that this was the worst head coaching job in the NFL because it really is. It really is. You look around the league, no other team really has no GM. Everybody has the GM and then the ownership.
Yeah.
And the Cowboys they don't do that. So if you're a head coach for the Dallas Cowboys, you're not gonna be in the building at every offseason with the GM, looking at specific players, picking out who you both like. You gotta fight with the ownership and just have them down your throat. This is who I want. That's who I want. You're gonna have to deal with it. So that it is by far the worst head coaching job opening. But aside from Jerry Jones, who's the team? Who's the team? You have 30.
I think Kuiper froze.
What 10 plus starters? I don't think I and you have an aging QB. I agree with him. It's the worst head coaching job in the NFL.
All right, Rue. What did you think of Troy's comments?
I mean, he nailed it. There's nothing more you can really say other than the fact that he really did hold back, but he nailed it. And the fact is, this team is still living off of what it did in the 90s. This team is still living off of Troy Aikman's accomplishments, Emmitt Smith's accomplishments, Michael Irvin's accomplishments. Like, they're living off of the triplets still to this day, 30 years later. And what's worse is, like, it'd be one thing if my GM was just a GM. If Jerry just wanted to be the GM and only the GM, I might be able to live with that. But he's not. Because any given moment, player can come knock on daddy's door and get playing time. Like we saw with Ezekiel Elliott this year, because that's the only way you can explain to me why he was even on the fucking field. And not to mention that you do a radio show after every single game. And then you get mad at the radio show host for calling you out on your bullshit. Because it's bullshit, Jerry. If you're going to be the GM, just be the GM and get out of the way. Because then it's like we can look at the head coach and understand that he actually has some responsibility or actually has some say-so in how this team is run and what happens with it. I wouldn't be surprised if Jerry's calling plays. I swear that every time I see a reverse, I'm like, Jerry called from the booth. Jerry called from the booth and called a reverse. This is a Jerry play. I know I'm being an asshole right now, but it's still it wouldn't surprise me if that's how in depth it gets with him, because he has this mentality that he just knows everything and that he's like a gift from God when it comes to football. And it's just like, you know what, man, I can't fault you for what you do in the draft, because I actually think what you do in the draft is pretty well, even though last season's draft, the last couple of drafts we haven't hit as much as we've hit in the past. But it's like, man, just do that and stop doing a radio show every day. And stop. Just get out of the way. That's my only thing. Just get out of the damn way. Please. For your own sake.
So my opinion on this, Troy has been critical of the Cowboys organization and front office for a very long time. He has not bitten his tongue not one time, and that's what I love about Troy. Troy gonna tell you the truth whether you like it or not. Okay? And some Cowboy fans can't handle the truth, and some can handle the truth. And what Troy Aikman basically gave you was the raw truth, and it was directed straight to Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones, this should be the most coveted head coaching position in the NFL. Because of the popularity of the team, the players on the team, the facilities you give them, it should be the most coveted job in the NFL, but it isn't because of owner interference and ineptitude in the general manager and the way you interfere with player personnel development. And you can only blame yourself, Jerry. And Troy just gave you the upright truth. And that whole comment was directed to Jerry Jones. If I had another wish, remember we were wishing if it was no scenario head coach, if it was no scenario GM, I wish Troy Aikman was our GM. I really do. Because he's no nonsense. If you ain't worked, remember when CD was dogging it early in the season? Who called out CD? Troy Aikman.
Troy Aikman.
Yep.
Troy Aikman called him out. And guess what happened after that? What did CD stop doing? Stop dogging.
Yeah.
Did y'all notice that?
He had a great year. Bounce back year. Yeah.
Dude. So I wish that was the case, but we know because Jerry Jones can't handle the truth about himself. Rue brought it up about the radio people. When the radio people just asking him a legitimate question, he couldn't take it. He couldn't take it. He got pissed. But see, that's why they own the fan, okay? Because Jerry can run shit. So, and it really sucked, man. I'm glad Armando brought this up because when I saw that interview I was like, that's the hard truth there, bro.
And I don't know. Did you notice how he was saying? How he was talking about well, Mike McCarthy and Kellen Moore. He was like, it was told to Mike McCarthy that Kellen
Yeah.
Moore was going to be his offense
Yeah.
coordinator. It was told, so it's pretty much this is Jerry. This is Jerry saying, you're doing this, you're doing this, you're doing this. What coach is going to want to come in and say, shit, well, I can't, well, it's not even really my team, right? So,
It's not
so
my staff for damn sure.
yeah. So, I don't know if you guys have seen the memes of, the Cowboys just hired a coach and it's Jerry. So just get down there, man. Just leave the front
Might as
office
well.
and get to coaching, right? But
Hey man, it was funny at one point. At one point, the Cowboys were like the Steelers. We didn't fire coaches. We had Tom Landry.
yeah,
We had Jimmy Johnson, but once Jerry decided I can do this better, now we're working on our 10th coach in franchise history. Jesus. And think about it. Jerry has had the team for 30 years, right? 30, 32 years. And we're working on 10 head coaches. 10 head coaches, man.
when do you guys think we hear?
Hey, he gonna drag this shit out, man. But he needs, honestly,
he can't interview anybody until after the playoffs.
After the playoffs.
Oh, okay.
Because you had a window, right?
Yeah.
Especially with coaches that's in the playoffs, you had a window. Well, that window is passed. So you can't talk to anybody anymore until after the playoffs, or they're out the playoffs. So he can talk to anybody from Minnesota. He can talk to anybody from the Chargers. He can talk to anybody with the Green Bay. He can talk to anybody with Tampa Bay. But there ain't nobody on those staffs that I would be in. Well, what was the offense coordinator for the Vikings, maybe? But
yeah,
anybody else, I'm really not. I'm not even considering them. But yeah, man. Jesus.
What do you guys think about John Gruden?
I don't want him. It's
Why?
to me, I'm sick of retreads, man. It just to me, give me something new and fresh. We know what Gruden is going to give, but I give me y'all opinion. I don't want him.
No. His last few tries have been dog shit.
Dude,
So
but,
no.
I mean, to me, I feel like he would bring some sort of maybe a different intensity to this team. Maybe he liked Dak Prescott, so I don't know if you guys ever saw his Dak Prescott interview where I think Dak was just coming into the league. He liked him a lot, so maybe that would be something to look forward to. But I just think that if we're gonna get a retread, I wouldn't mind Gruden, and that that nasty. I guess he brings some sort of nastiness, and I feel like that's what we need. We haven't had a coach, I guess, since Jimmy that gets nasty with his players and dogs them out. Accountability, right? And maybe that's what Gruden would bring.
Maybe so. Rue, what you think?
I like Gruden. I honestly I think that Gruden would be. I feel like Gruden's a good coach. I feel like Gruden knows the game, and I feel like that he would bring. You talk about bringing a culture, bringing discipline to a team. I think that Gruden could definitely bring that to this team. And honestly, for this team, I wouldn't hate a defensive-minded head coach because I really want the focus to be around Michael Parsons. I would like it to be a defensive head coach, which honestly, if we're talking retreads, I wouldn't even hate the idea of Rex Ryan. I really wouldn't even hate the idea of Rex Ryan just because with Rex, I feel like Rex is really itching for a damn job. I think Rex is trying to get the hell out of a damn booth and find himself a coaching job again. And he's a great defensive mind. But I just think that if you're gonna do a retread like that, I like John Gruden. I've always been a fan of John Gruden, so I think that he would bring the right dynamic for this team. And honestly, if I'm being totally transparent, Cowboys beat sold me on John Gruden a little bit also, just in terms of what he would do offensively for the team as well. But I wouldn't. I wouldn't mind having them both. If I'm being, if we're just gonna be putting shit together, let me get Gruden as the head coach and Rex Ryan as my DC. I feel like that would be a hell of a combination.
Well, I'm gonna stitch this. Cowboy Beat is avoiding the Cowboy Up podcast because he's avoiding my Michigan ass talking about his punk ass Ohio State team. So he is avoiding. He's scared. He spelled his name wrong. Chris with a K is wrong.
and that's another name nobody talked about is Al Harris.
Yeah, I like Al Harris. Yeah, hey,
but is he ready to be a head coach?
But dude, my whole thing is, who says he's not, or he is? He has qualification. He's been an NFL coach for the last 10 years. So when the other head coaches, when they get their opportunities, what make Aaron?
I mean, I guess we could have said the same thing about John Harbaugh.
Yeah,
special teams coach.
Special teams coach. Why all of a sudden Aaron Glenn is qualified because they're winning now? Was anybody talking about him before they were winning? No.
I like the idea of a player's coach. Like when Paul said about Dan Campbell, I love Dan Campbell. I think Dan Campbell is a great coach. He's one of my favorite coaches in the NFL. I think that Dan Campbell is an absolute monster. And if you bring that kind of energy as a former player and become a coach like that, I think it could work. You know, the game, obviously.
Well, my last name before we get into the playoffs, I wouldn't be disappointed in Jason Witten. I really wouldn't. Everybody say, "Hey, he's a high school coach." No, but you keep forgetting he was in the NFL for 18 years. 18 years. 18 years, man. So it wouldn't bother me. It would not bother me, not one bit. Okay, because he will get respect from the players. Okay. He is a Cowboy for life. Why not? So that's just my opinion. But look,
18 years.
18. He was in 8 as a tight end.
Tight end.
That's a long time, right?
And he was a roughneck tight end too. Yeah. Like he was a blocking tight end, third down catching tight end, running down the field with no helmet.
Tight end.
Slow as molasses tight end, but always
he was reliable though. That was Mr. Reliable.
Hey, why option?
He still leads in receiving, don't he?
Yeah,
he's still the leading receiver for the Cowboys history, isn't he?
It's funny.
Still him, right?
Yeah, he's funny. He said, "Why option was my play?" So let's talk about it. All right, man. Let's get into the picks, man. This weekend. All right, Cowboy Corner won the week, man. He was 4-2. I went 3-3. Mondo 3-3. Kaipa 3-3. I forgot to put Rue went 3-3 also. Dude. All right. So Houston decided they wanted to play in the second half because the Chargers had every opportunity to put points on the board and they refused. So Houston got the victory. Congratulations, Houston. All right. So Pittsburgh, we all knew they were going to get it was 21 at halftime, and I think the Ravens let off the gas. Okay, I honestly think that.
We'll save it for next week.
We'll save it the next week. Just like I predicted it in Buffalo, I said it's going to be close early. Buffalo going to pull away in the second half. That's what happened because Denver's offense decided that they just made too many mistakes. Okay. Also, Minnesota just completely shit the bed. They shit the bed. They had every opportunity in the world. They got a neutral field. You playing the Rams who are upstart. I'm really liking the Rams this week, but the Rams are not better than Minnesota. But the Rams made Minnesota look like shit. And kudos to the Rams organization. And Green Bay Packers, just like I thought, I said Green Bay, they backed their ass into the playoffs too. Okay. When they lost to the Bears at home the last game of the season, I said there's no way they're going to Philly and beat Philly. Okay. They had a rivalry game at home and you lose. Nope, can't do that. And Washington, the doink heard around the world. Washington wins the game in Tampa Bay. And hey, Kuiper, that was your only rookie quarterback that won, but hey, he ain't playing like a rookie so far.
It's bullshit.
So I know you hate him. So let's get into this week's
Clint
playoff
Kingsbury is
games,
who he
man.
hates.
So Saturday, we got the Texans versus the number one team in the NFL, the repeat champion going for the three-peat. We got the Houston Texans versus the Dallas Texans. Kuiper, who do you want, man?
I would have loved to pick the Texans as the upset, but the Chiefs just got a ref. I can't remember his name, but they are 6-0 with that ref.
Yeah, I just saw that.
6-0 with a single fucking ref. Are you kidding me? What the? Nobody's gonna pick against him, dude. That's so bullshit. Give me the Chiefs.
All right, Rue, the Houston Texans or the Dallas Texans? You got the Dallas Texans. All right, I'm gonna take the Dallas Texans too. 21. Which Texans do you have?
When you get updates on stats about refs and teams, yeah, you gonna take that team.
Yeah.
Take those Dallas Texans.
Take them Dallas Texans. All right, this may be the game of the weekend. I am really looking forward to this game. I'm so excited about this game. Okay, I think Buffalo is a Super Bowl team, but I also think the Ravens are too. I wish this was a AFC Championship game, but it's not because the AFC is deep this year. Give me Josh Allen. Kuiper, who you got?
I can't think that Buffalo, who hasn't been able to stop the run all year, is going to be able to stop Lamar and Derrick Henry. I just think that's too much for them defensively. I'm going to go with Lamar. I believe in him this year.
Okay, Rue, the big Lamar fan. Who you got, man?
This is the battle of the MVPs for the season. Josh Allen has had a phenomenal year with very little to mention around him. I mean, Keenan Coleman, Khalil Shakir, Dawson Knox, who I keep hearing about but never see on the field, and Jared Cook. You know, he's had a crazy season, and like I said earlier in the year, I owe that man an apology. I thought you were going to fall on your face this year. I thought you weren't going to be worth a damn with nothing around you, and you proved me wrong. It is what it is. I have to eat that. This game comes down to what Kuiper just said, and the fact is, I feel like it's both of these teams' times, but God bless, give me Lamar Jackson, the true MVP of the season. The man has had a phenomenal year. He is slinging the rock, and they are running the freaking football like one of the best teams in the league. I love what they're doing. Their defense is worse than it was last year, but it's actually played better in the second half of the season. And this team is going to win this game. I love the Bills' story, but they're going to get rid of their coach, Sean McDermott, right after this game. And the Ravens are going to be moving on to the AFC Championship to face the Chiefs and get some revenge after week one.
I would take McDermott too. All right, 21. Who you got, Ravens or Bills?
Man, Rue took the words out of my mouth. This is pretty much the MVP game, right? This is, you know, I feel like whoever wins this game is the MVP, but where's it at? Buffalo?
Yeah, in Buffalo.
No, it's no.
It's in Buffalo. Buffalo don't go on the road unless they play Kansas City.
Shit. I'm taking Josh Allen, man. I like the way Josh Allen has been playing this year. I think he continues to play great, and he wins that. He wins this game. He wins that MVP.
All right. We got the Doinks versus the Lions. Lions off the bye week, man. I'm excited about this game too. I think this is going to be a freaking shootout because neither defense can stop nobody. I'm picking the Lions at home just because they're at home. Kuiper, who you got?
Lions got a little bit healthier this with this bye. And I fucking hate Kingsbury. So yeah, give me the Lions.
All right. Rue. Who you got, man?
The Lions are the dominant force in the NFC. They proved that in Week 17, or in Week 18, excuse me. And the Commanders have had an admirable year. It's something to be said about what Dan Quinn did as soon as he left the Cowboys. Maintained a 12-5 season. That's 4 in a row for him, and he got a playoff win when a lot of people didn't think he was going to win that game against the Bucs at the Bucs. 2 road games in a row for a rookie quarterback. As great as Jaden Daniels has been playing, I got to go with the Lions here. They just got too much firepower with what they have. Lions win this game, and I don't think it's that close, but it probably will be high scoring.
All right, 21. Who you got?
I got the Lions. I seen them. I seen the game this week, and the way they're playing motivated. They're playing like everybody's after that ball. It's just these guys are on a run since last year. I think they got close, and they still have that itch. So yeah, I'm going Lions.
All right, the Rams who destroyed the Vikings versus those Sheagles, punk ass, trick ass, hoe ass Eagles.
Yeah.
Give me the Rams 77-0. Kuiper, who you got?
And the only reason why the Rams won was because of that D line and the Vikings shitty ass O line. They're going up against the best O line in the entire NFL, historically good. So fuck the Rams. They ain't got shit against the Eagles.
All right, Rue.
I think the Eagles are going to be able to catch up on all their reading right after this week. They've got a lot going on in that place, and I don't believe in Jalen Hurts. I don't believe in him. I don't think that this kid is going to get you to where you need to be. Saquon might be able to drag you there, but give me the Rams. I think the Rams are hot. They were my dark horse before this whole thing started, and they say what you want about Minnesota. They dominated Minnesota. And I believe in Matthew Stafford, so give me the Rams.
All right, 21.
I'm with Rue. I doubted the Rams this past week. I think that Matthew Stafford is proven in the playoffs, man, and I think they go to Philly and then steal this game. I think that's an upset, so I'm taking the Rams.
Yeah, I'm mad at myself. I had picked the Rams on the show, and then I go back and do my playoff predictions on TikTok, and I switched. So. Myself. I did. I don't know what I was thinking, but it is what it is, man. Final thoughts time, man. Kuiper, man, give us your final thoughts, man, so we can get out of here.
At the beginning of the year and throughout the entire season, I kept saying one thing: this is gonna be a transitional year into a rebuild for you guys. Now that I see that the head coach is gone and all these free agents, I think it really is going into a rebuild. And I think it's gonna stay true to that. I'm sorry, Cowboy fans, you're not gonna like this offseason. It's gonna fucking suck for you. And next year you're gonna have a bad record. Just be strong and weather the storm. That's my final thought.
All right, Rue, your final thoughts, Rue.
This team can 100% be built up in this offseason, and it all starts with free agency. The draft is going to be supplemental for what we have, but it's going to come down to free agency, and they can't do anything to tell me that there's no reason that they can't do anything. There's plenty of cap space to be made. It's very easily done, and they have to do it. There's no excuse for it. We have plenty of room for the upcoming offseason. I don't care that we never make moves in the offseason. I don't care that we never sign free agents. Now's the time. This is the year that it has to happen. This team only comes back to where it was 2 years ago through free agency. It's not going to happen through the draft this year. It needs to be built up through the draft. It needs to have depth through the draft, but the players to make a difference for this franchise for the next year, and it can be done, has to be done through free agency. And they have to make that shit happen. They have no excuse not to do so.
All right. 21, man, give us your final thoughts for the night.
First off, big shout out to everybody that was on the podcast today. If you guys, don't forget, as my boy Mikey always says, like, subscribe, tell your friends about us, right? Big shout out to Mikey. I wish he would have been here. I know he would have interrupted everybody here.
Oh, man, it would have been chaos.
We miss you, man. We miss you, man. Shout out to my boy Mikey, man. But you know, it's tough, man. It's tough. It's gonna be. I feel like I really feel. I want to feel optimistic, but it's gonna be a tough off season. We're in the, like, what do you call it? Purgatory, right? You don't know who you're gonna get as a coach. You don't know what's are you gonna do anything, right? It's tough being a Cowboy fan right now. But one thing is that we're loyal, right? We're loyal to that star. We gonna be here. If Arizona fans can get through it, so can we. Go Cowboys, baby.
Oh, hey, nice shot across the bow. I like that. All right, man. My final thoughts is this, man. It could be fixed. It ain't over for the Cowboys. Jerry and the front office, Steven, Charlotte, Jerry Jr., Will McClay, it's not over for the Cowboys, okay? The Cowboys still have an elite team, elite players. They just need to put pieces around them and the correct coaching staff, and let's roll with it. I'm like Anthony. It ain't doom and gloom for me. Not until I see the Cowboys start 0-5, 0-6, and I'll be like, yeah, it's doom and gloom. We in straight rebuild mode. But I don't think so right now. I still believe in number 4. I still believe in number 88. And I still believe in number 11. Okay. Now I need to believe in our front fucking office, and I need to believe in our new head coach. That's what I need. So those are my final thoughts on the Cowboys, man. First of all, also, man, I want to give a shout out to everybody who joined us. Tony the Goat Romo, Anthony from Cowboy Can Fan, Paul Stewart from the World Team Podcast over in the UK, 2:00 in the morning to talk Cowboy talk with us. Our player personnel director, Kuiper AZ, a Cowboy Corner Mike. Appreciate, man, everybody who joined us, and always the initial crew, man, Retrofit Sports, my man, Rue Hookham, always my man, my homeboy from the 915, and Mikey, we miss your interrupting ass. We need you back. So, man, as the big fella always say, Dallas Cowboys for life.
Puro pinches Cowboys.
We'll see you next week. Peace.
Let me give a big shout out to Sports St. Louis bro in the building. Always WWE. Ivan Sosa in the building.
You see him?
The loyalist. We got Cowboy Beat in the building.
The great Cowboy Beat.
Big shout out, man. Big shout out to y'all. Appreciate y'all joining. We only growing, guys. We only growing. It's gonna get bigger. I'm excited.
Hey, did you see he got retrofit right in the introduction?
I did it.
Hey, man.
Dancing.
Hold on, player. Sometimes I screw up, player. You know, but hey, man.
Players fuck up.
Hey, yeah, players fuck up. Yeah. First day of pads. Say, man, you know, we all played, man. It's just something about that first day. Ain't nothing like it. It is nothing like it, man. Because now to me,
tomorrow tells the truth. Today was the but tomorrow tells the truth.
I'm sick of this shit, man. I'm sick of this shit, man. You know, I know we all co-hosts, but you know, I like to have a little quick monologue before we get into a subject. You know, your ass always got to spread shit and eating wings and
motherfucker sprinting.
Calm down.
I haven't sprinted in 5 years.
Calm down, Mikey. Calm down, Mikey.
What you sprinting right now?
Yeah, we got a long show. We can go as long as you want to, man. So 21, what you got for Brock today, man?
Pleasure to meet you, Brock. I appreciate the love on TikTok, man. Shout out to Brock, man. Welcome to the show.
hey, I got the hard hitting questions. So I got the controversial.
You're gonna come out with that Waterburger in and out one, right?
I was we kind of keep it light, but big fella, I gotta hit him with Walter Cronkite stuff here.
Okay.
Drake or Kendrick?
See, okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. I have never really grew up liking Kendrick like that, right? I've always been a big Drake fan, so I'm gonna say Drake, but not like us. Like I was telling Terrence the other day, because Terrence is a huge Kendrick fan. I was like, not like us has me feel like a certain way, because I'm like sitting there like vibing in that song, but it's like this is Drake, and I'm a Drake fan over Kendrick any day. So that's not the only Kendrick song I like. Yeah.
And remember, like, subscribe. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to like. If you love us, tell your friends about us. Like.